Can I tell you, it literally took the credits rolling of this episode for me to realize what Stormborn meant. I was like, oh, Stormborn! Let's get into this review. I'm probably going to be using this the whole review, so get ready. So anyway, this episode opens up with Tyrion. There's like a storm happening. And then with Tyrion saying to Daenerys, Khaleesi, he says to her, you were born in a storm like this. I don't know why I didn't get that then. Why did, like, the opening credits, the opening scene already kind of lets you know what the name means for this episode. I didn't get it until the end, guys. Pray for me. So Khaleesi is like in full-blown queendom at this point. She is not playing around with anybody to the point where I feel like she's going a little bit overboard. You know what I mean? I think her appeal as the queen was because she had some softness to her, and I feel like she's just become so like hardened now. And I don't know if it's because she's at her home and she sees what was taken from her and she's just having all these memories about her family. I don't know what it is, but she is like really hardened at this point. So hardened to the point where she just starts to cuss out Lord Varys when they're having like a council meeting, and he's just like, excuse me, girl, like what's going on? And she was just like, I don't think that I can trust you because you served on this council, you served on this one, then you turned your back on this one, then you turned your back. How do I know that you won't do the same for me? And honestly, I agree with her. You know what I mean? I don't think that he's a trustworthy character. But then he gives her this whole speech about how she can trust him. Listen, that speech was so good, he convinced me. And I know he is Snake. Can I just say this? Why in the hell do we have two people on this show whose names are so similar? I promise you that I am probably going to mix up Melisandre and Missandei. Melisandre and Missandei. At some point, their names are probably going to sound the same. You don't got to correct me. I know. Their names are just similar. Go with the flow. Anyway, Melisandre arrives to meet with Daenerys, Khaleesi. Who the hell is Melisandre praying to? Because I don't think it's the Lord of Light. She has been off a lot. And because she has been off a lot, she is also feeling a little sort of way. You know what I mean? Like she's not as prideful as she used to be, because I'm just like, are you praying to the Lord of Dark? You know what I mean? To the Lord of Medium Light? Because I don't think you're praying to the Lord of Light, because girl, your prophecies have been off. Starts to tell her about the prophecy of the Long Night and that the prince who was promised will be able to defeat the Long Night. And she's talking to her in Valyrian, and I feel like she's trying to do that to maybe like show, I don't know, like to win her over, but it's not working on Khaleesi. And when she's telling her this prophecy, Khaleesi's like, why are you telling me that? Because it says prince. And then Missandre, these names, she's just like, well, in High Valyrian, a toot, prince and princess is like, it's genderless. It's a genderless term. So it could be you, or it could be Jon, you know, so it basically could be Khaleesi, or it could be Jon Snow. And then Khaleesi is like saying to Melisandre, do you believe these prophecies? And Melisandre, who has been off since the beginning, is just like, girl, I don't know. Prophecies can change. Who knows? I'm just telling you this prophecy. And I'm also here because I think you need to join with Jon Snow. Now, I feel like Melisandre believes that Jon Snow is the one that the Lord of Light chose because she raised him from the dead. I don't think she thinks it's Khaleesi, but she, you know, who knows? She may, you know, go back on that, but I feel like she came here because she believes that Jon is the one that the Lord of Light has chosen, and she wants Khaleesi to join with him and basically, you know, fight the walkers, you know, fight this war, because he is the one that she believes the Lord of Light has chosen to fight the night. And so she is trying to, and I don't know why she's doing this, but she's trying to help this happen. And I don't know why she's doing it, but I'm glad she's doing it, because although I love Jon, he's so indecisive, and a lot of his decisions are made with his heart. Poor thing. Khaleesi is not that moved by Melisandre wanting her to meet with Jon Snow, but then Tyrion is just like, I know this dude. He's a good guy. That might be a really great ally for us to have. Khaleesi agrees to meet with Jon, but then she like gets stark cold and she's like, tell him to bend the knee. And I'm like, girl, calm down. It's not that deep. I realize you've been through a lot, but Khaleesi is giving me Cersei, and I don't like it. You are Daenerys, okay? Mother of dragon, Khaleesi. Khal Drogo's baby mama. You better act right. While Khaleesi is getting her Cersei on, we cut to Cersei, who's actually trying to gain allies. She's trying to convince those who haven't joined with Khaleesi or the House of Stark. She's trying to get them to join with her. Like, she's basically calling on the neutral people, and it's just in her allies that she already has, but she's calling on these neutral cats, and she's just like, listen, join with me. This girl is crazy. She's out of her mind. She doesn't know how to lead. She leads with an iron fist. And when she's saying all this stuff, I'm looking at her like, Cersei, have you looked in the mirror? Because if this isn't the pitch black pot calling the kettle black, girl. She gives this whole speech about, Khaleesi being, the kin of the Mad King, so she's just as mad as he is. All that she says does not faze them because they looking at her like she crazy. She's saying all this stuff and they look at her and they're just like, sis, she got dragons. We scared. Like, we don't want to get involved in this. She got dragons. Then we get to see Jorah. Ooh. Our baby looks horrible. That grayscale has taken a hold of him. And it's so bad that the maesters at the Citadel is just like, we can't help you. So they're evicting him from the Citadel. So we get this whole scene where he's just like, you got about 10 to 20 years to live, but you just can't live here. You're gonna go crazy at some point. It's just basically about to be a miserable life for you, and it's going to be a long life. Like, you're not just gonna die right away. You got 20 years to live in this scaly skin with a mush of a mind. Poor dude. Cersei's own little personal Dr. Evil created this bow and arrow that he's gonna give her to use against Khaleesi's dragons. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if they take out any of them dragons, I am going to have a full-on fit. Do not touch my dragon, baby. So Dorne, Westeros, and the rightful heirs of the Iron Isle have all joined in with Khaleesi. Baby, it's gonna be good. You're a dragon. Be a dragon. Can I tell you, the Queen of Thorns has to be hands down next to Lyanna Mormont, my favorite character on this show. I love how she reads these young bucks for filth and doesn't even bat an eye. That is the type of reading and shade I hope to aspire to in my old age, because that's the type of reading and shade that only an older person can do. You can't do that young. Like, her side eyes, her little comments, she shades you in a way that you don't know that you're being shaded until like years later. You know what I mean? She's so good at it. I don't know. I love her character. She's lost so much, but she is still strong in who she is, and she is dead set on taking Cersei out, and I am here for it. So Grey Worm and Missandei. Girl, yes, it's about damn time. So Grey Worm and Missandei have this little moment, and he's saying that he doesn't want to leave her. He tells her that he loves her, so they like start to kiss or whatever. And you know what? This just shows that a man is more than his penis, because his heart loves this woman. And they start to kiss or whatever, and she, tries to take off his, warrior skirt. I don't know what it's called. Forgive me. I told you I don't speak Hobbit. So he tries to take off his warrior skirt, and he's like, no, don't. Because what the hell? What is Grey Worm's accent? I don't, Lord. He's like, no, don't touch it. Is he Jamaican? Oh, Grey Worm is Jamaican. Okay. So she tries to take it off, and he's, he doesn't want her to do it. And then finally he lets her do it. And she is, because she's just like, I want to see you. And she sees him. And then they start to kiss and embrace. And then he lays her on that bed and has a Missandei meal. I was like, what? HBO, man. HBO don't hold nothing back, because Grey Worm went to town on Missandei, okay? How do you know how to do that, you unsullied soldier? Jorah has about 24 hours before he has to get out of the Citadel. And Samwell goes to him. He asks him, he's just like, do you have any family, anybody that I can alert and let them know that you're leaving, or just that your condition is beyond repair? Like, is there anybody I can reach out to? Jorah gives Samwell his entire name, and he's just like, no, I don't have anybody that I can reach out to. So Samwell remembers his daddy, and because of that, he's just like, I'm not going to let this guy die. So he goes to Master Ebros, and he's just like, I've been looking up cures for grayscale, and I've seen that there were 2 successful cases. Can I try it on him? And Lord Ebros, who does not believe in anything, or Maester Ebros, who just, he is so like, he's the most doubtful person I've ever met. Like, he just doesn't believe in it. And he's like, oh, that person died, it's not going to work. So he's done with it. But, you know, Samwell is stubborn, a good stubborn. And he's just like, no, I'm going to find a way to save this dude because he respects his father, he honors his father. And he's just like, I fought with your dad, I'm not going to let you die. You know, loyalty and honor is really big with certain characters on this show. And it's definitely huge with Samwell. So I thought that Samwell was going to find some kind of mystical way to help Jorah. I did not know that his solution was going to be to rip the grayscale off of... Oh, I'm about to vomit. Rip the grayscale off of Jorah's body and put like some healing ointment on it. Let me tell you something. He gave Jorah something to bite on for the pain. And he was like, you have to be quiet because if they find out that I'm doing this, we both getting evicted out of here. So he gives Jorah this thing to bite on, and he takes like, oh, Jesus. Oh, I feel it right now. Oh, he takes like this chisel. And he just starts to rip the grayscale off of his body. Give Jorah, whoever plays Jorah, an Oscar right now because I believed it. I believed every moment, every scream, every movement. I was like, yes, brother, I feel it. I felt so bad for Jorah in that moment. Lord Samwell, this better work. So then we meet Hot Pie. Whoo, we haven't seen Hot Pie in a minute. And baby, it looks like Hot Pie is enjoying them hot pies. Okay. But you know what? Who am I to talk? Because I'm a hot pie away from being hot pie. So I need to shut the hell up. Arya surprises Hot Pie at, I guess, restaurant that he worked at or that he was sold to. Poor thing. When they were kids. And she returns back to surprise him. And I really love this because he was so happy to see her. And I just love this moment between 2 old friends. And then, you know, Hot Pie, who always has all the tea of the North. Like, anything you want to know, Hot Pie got all the gossip. So he tells her that Jon is now king of the North. And guys, this was probably the best scene for me because, one, I love the fact that Arya and Hot Pie were meeting again as, you know, older teens. When they last saw each other, they were just little babies, little kids. So I love that reunion of the two. But I also love to see our baby Arya is just a joyous young person again. You know what I mean? She's been through so much, so to see her just get excited about her brother and then her brother being king and about seeing her family again, or what was left of her family, I felt that joy for that baby. I felt that joy and I just loved it because I saw for that moment the killer leave her, you know, the vengeance leave her, all of that stuff left her, and we were left with little Arya Stark, who we met in season 1, and just her being able to go back to that happy child again. And I don't know, that was a really sweet moment for me. You know, all of my sweet, touching, like tearful moments are coming from Arya. Like when she met with the soldiers the first episode, and now when she's meeting with Hot Pie and learning about Jon being the king of the North. Oh, I love that baby. So Jon receives the letter from Samwell about the dragon glass, and he also receives the letter from Tyrion about meeting with Daenerys. He addresses the council and he lets them know that he plans on meeting with Khaleesi because she is also sitting on a bunch of dragon glass, and they need this freaking dragon glass to defeat the White Walkers. So here comes Sansa. No, Jon, I don't think it's a good idea. It's not smart. Like, already coming at him in his authority because she want to be the queen. Anyway, Jon is just like, well, I have to leave. This is something that I have to do. I, as the king, have to meet with her. Like, she's not going to meet with anybody else. She sent for me as the queen of that land. I need to meet with her as the king of this land. It's only the right thing to do. Like, it's out of respect for her. If I send somebody else, that means I don't respect her. And I don't want to send the wrong message. And Sansa's just like, no, we need you here in the North. If you leave here, who is going to leave? He turns around. He said, I'm going to put you in charge, ho. That shut her up real quick because that's all she ever wanted. She was like, really? Okay. And she sat right down because that's all Sansa ever wanted was to lead. Snake. Littlefinger, Lord Baelish, Pimp of the North, whatever his name is. I'm so sick of him. This sly talk. I really want to watch the interview of the actor who plays Littlefinger and see if he derived this character's voice from like watching 1970s pimp movies, because his accent, again, him and Grey Worm, I don't know where the hell they from, but this accent is way too familiar to like 1970s pimps from like Detroit, because he has like this, you know what I mean? Like it's this sly, little voice that he has, and I'm just like, he just puts a little English accent on it, but I know that pimp voice when I hear it. So I feel like that's where it's coming from. Anyway, I'm so sick of his sly little whispers. So for some reason, he decides to tell Jon that he brought his father's bones back to the north, and Jon is like, okay, thank you. Do you want a cookie? Have a nice day. Like, why are you even saying this to me? And then he tells her that he loves Sansa like he loved her mother, and he expected not to get gripped up by Jon. Like, Jon was about to break his neck. Why would you even say anything like that to him? But again, I feel like he's working with Sansa to overtake Jon in this throne. Because why would he say that to him? It made absolutely no sense to tell Jon that you, this older dude, are filling his sister. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. And also, isn't Sansa supposed to be like 16 or 17 in this show? Lord Baelish got to be pushing 50. Men on this men in general, but the men on this show are nasty. I mean, as soon as a woman starts ovulating, here they come with the sniffing, trying to get into the vagina. Jeez. She just got finished getting it beat up by some little dark-haired hobbit. Now you want to come in and get in it? Give her a break. So Arya is heading to the north now because she wants to see her brother. Like, she's really excited about it. And she's walking through like this snow-capped mountain, and out of nowhere she gets surrounded by like these hood wolves. So they start surrounding her and they're like growling at her. And then this one wolf jumps up and it just starts growling at her, and she's staring at the wolf and the wolf is staring at her. And then she's just like, Nymeria? And then the wolf is like, Arya? It didn't say it, but I felt like it was a moment that they had, and she's trying to talk to her, and they have like this moment of like remembrance. But again, it was so sad to me because you could see how the streets had changed the both of them. You know what I mean? The streets changed Nymeria and it changed Arya, and they both like these hardened, young girls basically. And it was just really sad, but it was a smart way to show how they both have changed. Both of them have been raised essentially by the streets. So it was just this change in the both of them, and then them seeing each other again. I felt like it brought this moment of home for Arya. When Arya looks to Nymeria and she's just like, Nymeria, why don't you come with me? I'm going home to the north. Come home with me. And then Nymeria looks at her and she was just like, girl, not only has winter come, winter is here. I'm getting the hell out of here. And she turns around and she leaves. And then Arya makes this statement. She's just like, okay, I'll follow you. So I don't know what that means. Is she following her sans the north, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I couldn't read. I couldn't find anything on that either. Why she said that. It's a I'll follow your pack now. I don't know what that meant, but if you know what that means, can you please put it in the comment section below? Then we get to the saddest scene of the night. Euron actually finds Yara's ship and he overtakes all of her ships. Like he has, I don't know where he got this fleet from. Oh, he told them to build those ships. Wow, he built bigger and better ships in a short amount of time. Wow, because I remember Yara took all the ships and Theon. So wow, that says a lot about the people of the Iron Isles. They were able to build bigger and better ships in a less amount of time and overtake their old ships. So anyway, Euron is able to overtake all of Yara's ships. He jumps on the ship where she's on, and Lyra's on there with her daughters, and her daughters are protecting her, but two of them leave out, and then one stays to protect Lyra. So two of the daughters leave out. They're fighting Euron, and they're fighting everybody, and they're doing really well, and I feel like these girls are winning. But Euron is just a much better soldier. He kills both of Lyra's daughters. I think one was called like a sand snake, and I felt like that was kind of offensive. Anyway, he kills the both of them, and then he gets Yara. He holds Yara captive. But I think that was on Yara's fault because she felt like she could fight him. I'm like, girl, you just seen this man kill everybody on your ship. Why do you think that you could take him on your own? It's too much. She feels like she's this ultimate soldier that she can take anybody down, and I feel like her machismo got the best of her because she tries to fight Euron, or maybe she was just like, if I'm going to go down, I'm gonna take you with me. Maybe that was what she was thinking. But anyway, tries to fight him. It doesn't work well in her favor. He overtakes her. Theon is fighting, and then Euron yells at him, and he's just like, make a move. You basically come save your sister. Theon, oh my baby, he's traumatized. He's going through PTSD. I feel bad because everybody dragged him on Twitter, but he was just shocked. He just started seeing like everybody losing in the death, and he looked at his sister in her eyes, and why am I laughing? Yara was crying, and Theon was just like, bye, and he jumped off the boat to save himself. Oh, Theon, baby, what is going on? Yara is disappointed, and I don't know if she's necessarily dead because Alyra is kept alive and her daughter is kept alive, the one that was protecting her. And then we get this scene where there is somebody hanging off the ship. And I thought that was Yara, but we don't get a close-up, so we never get a confirmation if that's her or not. So I don't know if she's still alive, and I don't know if Euron is going to bring them back to Cersei as prisoners, or if he's going to bring them her head as a gift. Because originally, when he said that he was going to come back to Cersei with a gift, I thought that he was going to give her the head of Tyrion Lannister. But now I'm thinking he's either going to give Alyra and her daughter and Yara as like prisoners to her, or if he's going to give them to her, their severed heads. I don't know. I feel like either way, Cersei will enjoy it. So I think that those are the gifts that he's going to give to Cersei. Anyway, that's where it ends. Next week looks pretty intense, and I cannot wait to review it. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you for the following episode of Game of Thrones. Bye, guys.